I got really into meditation. I got really massively into Abraham Hicks. I really did think to myself, that's it, I'm done, I'm not doing the art business again. I always wanted to do an office job. I always wanted to wear like cute little outfits into the office. I really did struggle with the having other people sort of in charge of when I do things, in charge of my breaks. I'm back! So just over a year ago, I posted this video where I was talking about how I was gonna do my art business and also do an office job alongside it. As you have noticed, obviously, I did not really manage to do that. It was just way too much. In the beginning, it was kind of easy. I was able to do the office job where I was like training and stuff, and also do my art business on the side. I think that was just because I had the ability in that first part when I'm training to not have so much work on with the office job, that I was able to continue the art stuff alongside it. But it then got progressively harder. The better I started to learn things, the more responsibilities I then had. It feels so weird to be sat here again talking to you after such a long period of time, but it's also kind of strange because it also feels like I never really left. And I thought that talking to the camera again was going to be really hard. I know that I found that incredibly difficult when I first started to actually like speak to the camera, and I felt very awkward, but actually now it feels like it's just like a learned part of me that I learned from before, and it's just kind of like sticking around, which is really good. So now I feel like I can actually just talk to you and tell you everything that's been going on. So when I made the decision to go into that office job, I was feeling incredibly demotivated or unmotivated to do the art business. I don't really know what exactly it was, but I think a lot of burnout just kind of like caught up to me. I was working myself really into the ground, I would say, the time before that. For about, I think, 6 months before I stopped, I wasn't actually working myself into the ground. I was giving myself a bit of a break, and I think that's when I sort of got to the realization that I was like, I need to step away from it. And so that's exactly what happened. And I did actually, it kind of feels sad to say this, but I really did think to myself, that's it, I'm done, I'm not doing the art business again. And just kind of thought about getting rid of everything in here, everything in my studio, everything I've worked so hard for, to just be like, it's just not me anymore. Like the working hard and grinding and the really long hours are just not what I was prepared to do anymore. And then I went into the office job, and it was such a different experience. I'm so grateful for it because I always wanted to do an office job. I always wanted to wear like cute little outfits into the office and like get little coffees and things, and it was really fun in that aspect. But for me personally, I really did struggle with the having other people sort of in charge of when I do things, in charge of my breaks, in charge of what work I'm gonna do, in charge of my hours, that sort of stuff. And I do really appreciate it because I would say that in comparison to what I was doing before, that it was almost like easier money in a sense. Like I didn't really have to like motivate myself or push myself loads to do things to get money to come in. And you know, it's just a given, you get paid a certain amount every month, whereas having the art business before now was very much like sporadic, and it fluctuates a lot depending on different times of the year and things like that. So, but I really did truly feel like I needed to step away for a little bit, and I didn't envision it being this amount of time, and I honestly didn't envision me coming back with the energy, thoughts and same feelings that I had when I first started my business, or when I was in like the height of my business from before I started the office job, that I have now. I remember my husband saying to me when I took the office job, he said that, oh well, maybe the office job is going to help you to feel connected to your art business again. Maybe it's going to re-spark the motivation. And I remember thinking at the time, yeah, that's not going to happen. And it's so strange because that's exactly what happened. I started getting to the point where I just did not like the office job anymore, and there's obviously more to it. I did write a little bit about it on my Patreon if you want to go check that out, but it just it felt really restrictive to me. And it's funny to say that because I kind of had that same feelings before I went into the office job, and then when I started the office job it did feel very freeing because I think it's like a change of situation and it was something new, something different, and I didn't have the pressure of having to, what I felt like at the time was chasing money, which in an art business or in any kind of small business where you are the owner and you are the boss, you are the one to be in charge all the time, you're the one to be making all of the decisions, everything relies on your will and motivation, and sometimes that is not easy to do and easy to push through, especially I think when you get burnout from pushing yourself too hard for too long, which is exactly what happened to me. Over that year that I was away, or like partially away, honestly I feel like a different person. My mindset has completely changed. Like if you look at some of the videos I did before where I was so like upset and so down about certain things and saying things like, is this the end of my art business? And now I like look back at it and I'm not judging myself for feeling that way, but now I'm just looking at it in a different perspective. And over the last year I've really spent a lot of time on like my mindset and feeling good. I got really into meditation, I got really massively into Abraham Hicks and manifestation, and which is all sort of things that I think I was feeling interested and into already, but it kind of got heightened during that year. And listening to so many of the Abraham Hicks podcasts and watching the videos on YouTube, it just really changed my perspective on everything. And so now I don't feel like there is any need for me to chase money. I really do think that my thoughts are what creates my reality. So if I'm thinking like, oh, I'm gonna have to work really hard, which is what my mindset was before, I'm gonna have to work so hard to make this a thing. Having your own art business is difficult, like having to motivate yourself is difficult. And I know I've like said those things now. It's very much in a different kind of light though, because I think there's also such an importance of listening to your body, and there's such, for me anyway, there's such an importance on divine timing. Like things are gonna happen when they're supposed to happen. I'm not behind, I'm not failing, like this is just me experiencing life, and coming back into this has just been beautiful, to be honest. When I first was thinking about it, I was really scared because I think I was feeling these feelings from before where I was like, oh, what if I don't do this? What if I don't get this? What if this doesn't happen? And I had to kind of notice those thoughts and put them in a different perspective and flip it around a little bit, and that honestly really helps me. Like, what is the best thing that could happen? What if this does work out? Like, what if I'm able to do XYZ? Like, it's just a better way, I think, for approaching things. And at the end of the day, I realized that if for some reason, which I don't think it's going to, I don't think it can, but if for some reason the art business now, like me restarting it and me putting it as my intention again, if that doesn't work, it doesn't work. It obviously wasn't meant to be. But I am so glad that I didn't actually fully call it quits. I'm so glad I didn't get rid of my website or sell all my stuff, you know, that I've accumulated. Because something I've always felt is that this art business of mine is like my baby, it's like my child. It's grown with me as a person, and I've put so much nurturing and love and care into it that honestly I think it would just be a real shame if I fully quit. But that is obviously not where we are, and I am so excited to get fully deep into everything. It's just honestly, just it feels like this is the beginning of the best time of my life. I keep saying lately that I have a really good feeling something big is gonna happen, like something really amazing is gonna happen. And I keep saying that, and I think saying that kind of thing is such a good, not just like a mindset thing, like such a good way to have your brain be thinking and changing those kind of thoughts from thinking those more negative ones where you're like, what if this doesn't work? I think it's also amazing in the sense of manifestation. I've really noticed that when I say things like that, when I'm grateful, when I have more gratitude, when I say like, oh, I have a really good feeling about this is gonna happen, it's like almost every single time comes true for me. So I really love the manifestation and like a healthy mindset, positive mindset, and not like toxic positivity, but more changing your thoughts when you notice them, when they aren't really serving you. If you're feeling more down, or you know something's built up, is it like acknowledging where that's coming from, giving yourself, allowing yourself to rest, allowing yourself to feel those feelings and know that they really don't have much impact on your life anyway. It's just where you are in the moment, and that you'll get through it. Honestly, nothing lasts forever. That is something that I've noticed in my 34 years now. I can't believe I'm 34, but nothing lasts forever. There's always good things, there's always bad things, or bad things. Just everything good is meant for you, and I truly believe that. So that's where we're at. And today, obviously we're back for a studio vlog. I have started off my back to work thing as redecorating the office. So I don't know if you can tell if it looks a little bit different. It obviously doesn't look loads different because I've still got the same desks and things like that, but I've repainted the walls, I've redecorated the walls, I've even ordered myself a logo sticker of this. So this is my new watermark that I made, and then I was like, well, why don't I use this as my logo as well? So, and I always think that something like that solidifies the professionalism of your business as well, I think, because for the longest time I haven't had a logo or anything like that. I will, you know, I've got aianaiyaillustration, I'll write it in usually a certain type of font, but there's no real like logo. When I made this watermark, I was thinking, oh well, I need to start watermarking my stuff. We'll get into that. That's some other information I want to tell you about, but we'll get into that. And then I just sort of was thinking, like, how amazing would it be if I had a logo on my wall? This was my studio, this was my business. It wasn't just like my little art room anymore. It is a business. It is serious. I have created this, and you know, I am very proud of that. I have achieved very many wonderful things that me, when I started this, would not have thought was possible in the slightest, and I've done all that. And so I think it really is time to take it more serious in the sense of not having imposter syndrome anymore, not doubting myself anymore, like really knowing my worth and really knowing the worth of this business. So that is coming very soon. I got notification yesterday that it had been shipped, so not long. And I'm going to show you this wall now, because this wall has a little space for it. So I repainted, and then I measured out where the sticker was going to go, and measured it all so that there's a gap so that I can put the sticker in there. Okay, now getting into, I do want to like let you know a little bit about why I made the watermark. And you know, I do have a watermark that I use, which is literally just like a little, so it was like a little, I don't know what the shape's called, like that. I'm looking at it right now, it's on my calendar, and I just wrote aiyanaiya in it. And I would just sort of stick that very small somewhere where you couldn't really tell on the drawing, and it was more just basically saying like, this is my artwork, this is who made this artwork. And now I'm a little bit more into thinking from the perspective of, I'm gonna put art, like watermarks on my artwork and on my Etsy shop listings, on my website listings, because I think it's so important to also protect your work. As I'm not really sure what the copyright law is across the world, but I know that in the UK, any artwork you made is automatic copyright. So everything I draw is copyrighted to me, and I basically just wanted to start doing this because I was on Etsy the one day and I noticed that this piece of artwork from 2021, I think it was, has been used in a couple of listings. People are using it to promote their products, like tarot reading type products, and also selling the artwork as a poster. Anyway, I contacted the two sellers that this happened with, and one of them removed it but didn't answer me, and then the other one answered me and then blocked me. So unfortunately I couldn't communicate to them about it enough, and so they unfortunately still have the listing up. So I have had to put in a copyright claim, file the report on Etsy for this listing, and it just really highlighted to me that it's so important to protect my work, because I posted some of my Instagram stories, and if you didn't see, basically what I was saying is that I am a reasonable, down-to-earth, kind person. If you want to use my artwork for, I don't know, say your logo, like not your logo, like your profile picture on Instagram, or you maybe want to use it on your listings or something, I don't know, if you wanted to use it for something, just talk to me about it, because I might not be comfortable with whatever it is you're suggesting, but I will be open to discussing it with you and discussing like how we can agree together for you to be able to use my artwork in that way. Profile pictures is something else. I think if someone was to message me and ask me, I would be like, absolutely, I don't mind, depending on like which one it is. But I'm really like easygoing, so I think it's more the fact that people take my artwork and then just use it without speaking to me. That is something that I feel I need to protect. So that's the main reason for that. And then it went into something beautiful. So like a situation like that is exactly what I was trying to talk about before. That is something that I would say would be perceived as a bad thing to happen, bad interaction, but it really just helped me. It really wasn't negative at all. It highlighted that I need to be a little bit more serious about having watermarks and protecting my work, and it then led to me having more of a professional feel with my artwork, with my art business. So you know, with the logo that I'm gonna have on my wall. So honestly, I just feel like it's kind of crazy that perspective plays such a huge part in everything in our lives, and I really truly believe that nothing is good or bad, it's just how we perceive it. And I'm really learning to be more grateful for those more negative experiences, because I had a negative experience in the office job which really pushed me to want to leave, and if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be sat here talking to you. I would still be feeling restricted, I'd still be feeling overwhelmed, like in a place that I felt wasn't meant for me. So everything happens for a reason, and yes, some things feel really bad, and I'm not trying to take away from that at all either. That is absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with feeling upset about something or negative about something or taking something as a negative thing. But I think it's also nice to be gentle with yourself and be like, well, what if this leads to something wonderful? So I don't have any negative feelings left over from the copyright reports, and it's just something that I have to be a little bit more vigilant with in future, and I will check to see if anyone's using my artwork, and I will report it and I will get it removed. So, but to me that's not negative, that's more like a wise decision now. I think before before the office job me would have made a whole bloody video on that and would have been like, oh my god, why has this happened to me? And I do completely appreciate that perspective. It's funny to me now, but I really am not trying to say that there is anything wrong with that perspective. I'm just saying that for me, I feel like this is a better way for me to approach things. It feels healthier for me and it feels nicer on my brain. Okay. Oh, getting a dry mouth from talking so much. Okay, so today I have some really exciting news. I'm so excited to share it with you. Oh my god, I can't wait. So when I quit the office job and I had my last day, I took 3 weeks off. So I was supposed to take, I say I took this time off, but I was doing some work during the entire 3 weeks, but it was more like relaxed. I was more gentle with myself and more following the creative urge, which I think is also another important thing to notice and like feel in your body, that as creatives it's important to feel and act on the creativity when we more have that feeling. And I feel like if you don't have that feeling, that's more of a nudge from yourself to look after you first and do things like get outside, have like a relaxing bath, do things that make you feel relaxed and put no pressure on to being productive, and that kind of stuff just kind of flows to you easily. That's my experience anyway. I don't know, obviously it could be different for everyone, but that is just my experience. So during that time off, oh my god, I made so many things, but one of the things I made was an oracle deck. And I have wanted a fairy oracle deck in my shop. Well, I wanted a fairy tarot deck, but I wanted, you know, a fairy deck of cards in my shop for so long. And I thought to myself, I have drawn fairies. Like, what am I doing? So I went through all my fairy artwork and got a bunch of them together and found 20 artworks that I could use, and I made a new oracle fairy deck. Oh, it's one of my favorites. If you were on my Patreon, you would have seen like the little process of it, the little talking about it behind the scenes, and the excitement that I had for this. And then yesterday I finally printed them all out, and it's always so fun to me to go from an idea in your head to like a drawing digitally to then having it printed out and physical in your hands. It's just such a nice feeling. So this is a deck. I'm gonna put up another video where you can see it a little bit more in detail, but how pretty are all the colors that are just... There's also an artwork in here that I didn't actually post to my Instagram, I don't think ever. And I remember working on it when I was working on my tarot deck. So I wanted to have, I did actually make so many tarot cards, it was silly, and then I decided, oh actually no. It's something I do a lot with everything. I made a tarot deck back in like 2021, I think it was, 2022, something like that. I started making a tarot deck then, and then I just decided no, I want to wait till my art is better, until I feel like my art is me. There's always that like period of time from when you start to when you feel like your art starts to look like what you're actually trying to get to look like, or what you're actually seeing in your head. And so I now feel like I'm at that point, so that's another story. But something I do a lot is restart things. I've also been writing books for the last, I want to say like 12 years, and I've written them out, fleshed them out, got all the characters and everything, and then I've just decided no, I don't really feel like it, and then put it to the side. So it's something I do a lot, but I have faith that there's a reason for it, and I really do think that when I release my tarot deck, it is going to be so perfect. I really do believe that. I think it's just going to be everything I always wanted, and I think it's going to get a really good reaction. And that is something that is in the back of my mind at the moment, something that I am planning at the moment, and I actually have drawn a couple of cards for this, so it is something that is on my mind. So just for anyone, I always get questions saying, oh, have you got a tarot deck? Are you gonna make a tarot deck? Yes, I am. Please be patient with me. I will get around to it. It's on the cards. It's in the cards. But yeah, this is one of the artworks that I made. Hi, baby.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, talk to yourself.
Talk to the camera.
Alright, so you can say bye because I'm gonna bounce, okay?
Okay, baby, I love you so much.
Love you too. Have a good time.
And actually, I didn't really like the story when I first did it. It felt like it was missing something. But then I cropped it a little bit for this card, and I actually think it's so perfect. It's just so cute. So today's work revolves heavily around new listings. So the other things that I created for my shop during that 3 weeks off is I created a new type of commission. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this. I actually cannot wait to draw people in this commission style. So it's this on the screen now. It's a tarot style commission, a tarot card style commission, where essentially you send me a picture of yourself, or if you want to get it for like you and your best friend, or for your husband, you and your husband, something like that, or you and your wife, whatever. It's for you to have a special commission that revolves around like you and your core and like special things about you. So you get to choose the phrase that it says. It can either be like a tarot card title like Temperance, or I don't know, the Lovers, for if you were doing like something like for an anniversary or something, and then you can choose the little symbols that go on the top. You can choose some angel numbers, you can choose some MTBI personalities, you could add in your star sign symbols as well, which I think is so cute. And then you get to choose whether you want to be a witch, whether you want to be a fairy, or whether you want to be a mermaid. You get to you can also choose to be just regular human. You don't have to be a type of fantasy creature. You can be regular human, so it doesn't have to be with fairy wings and stuff like that if you don't want it to be. And then you get to also choose from 3 different borders, and it's just so fun. I've done a few of them already and I just can't wait to do more. It's just so fun. I had so much fun doing them. So if you want those, by the time this video is up, they will be in my shop. By the time this video is up, all of these things that I am mentioning to you today will be in my Etsy shop and will also be in my website. So go check those out. I have also, my god, I feel like this video is so chaotic, but I feel like it's accurate representation of me and my brain sometimes, and the way that I go about things. Oh no, that's what I was gonna say. I have also been very, very aware of my shop charging, I think, too high shipping for customers on my website. Not on Etsy. Etsy's a different story, but on my website, I think where I was just very confused with how the Shopify shipping works. I think I got it a bit confused, and that is now all fixed. None of that is, no, that's perfect. The shipping prices will now be a good price, they'll be affordable. I've spent a lot of time changing that over and being quite meticulous about it. So, because what I really want is for people to feel happy using my website. I have a lot of exclusive items on there that I don't have on my Etsy, so I just really want people to feel comfortable using it, and I didn't really want the high shipping to be like a deterrent. You also qualify for free shipping on both platforms of mine, on my website and on my Etsy, if you spend over a certain amount. And on that note, I do still ship to the US. I use a carrier that has prepaid tariff prices in it, so there's no worries, no concerns there. Please don't worry, I am still shipping to the US and I haven't actually stopped, so you can order things fine and there should be no issues. Obviously, I'm not the delivery service, so I can't say, but I've done everything on my end to make sure that there's absolutely no issues. On my website, you can also qualify for £5 off if you sign up to the mailing. The mailing is where I will send exclusive coupons, exclusive vouchers, updates, and it's Personally, I don't think it's spammy. It's just like little cute, it's just cute little updates when I do things. I'm not sending out a bunch of emails, or if you are getting a bunch of emails, please let me know, because I have not set it up that way. Blah 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 blah. Honestly, how have I even come to this conversation about my website? I thought I was talking to you about the listings. Maybe that's where I kind of went off on that. So I have the tarot card commissions. I'm also going to be putting in a regular standard commission, so if you don't want the tarot card ones, you can just you know, request certain commissions, request something that you have a vision for in your brain, and send me the references, purchase listing, and then yeah, I'll get right on it. I also made a bunch of brush packs. At the moment, I think only 2 of them are finalized, but I have a couple more that I really need to just focus on finalizing. I'm hoping to have everything in the shop on Friday, so that's my plan. That's what I've got to basically be doing today, is focusing on the listings that are going to be coming out on Friday. So, oh, on that note, Patreon members, you will be getting an exclusive coupon to be using. That's going to be on the cards. So these cards you see here in my hand, these are standard size cards. They're the same size as like my other decks. Let me show you. So we have my Zodiac deck, we have my Mermaid deck, and as you can see, they're exactly the same size. So these work well for if you have bought any of my other decks and you have bought the standard ones, not the mini ones, then these standard ones of the fairy deck are gonna go perfectly with that. I don't know about you, but I really like to mix up my oracle decks sometimes and get lots of different decks together that are the same size, and then you just sort of shuffle them together. So you can always do that, like a little mix and match with all my oracle cards. And so these ones are going to be £40. They are currently handmade by me and hand laminated, hand cut, with lots and lots of love and care and attention to them. So these ones are going to be 40. You can also get them in the mini version, which is these listings here. So if you've bought any of these before, you'll know they're probably, I'd say, about half the size of these standard cards, and there's going to be 20 in there. So it's a really nice amount to be able to shuffle as well, and they're really nice smooth shuffling. I really love them, and I did the cutest little bag. It's just so pretty. So coupon on Patreon for that exclusively. So at the moment, that's another thing. Oh my god, I just feel like there's so much to update you on. On my Patreon, I have completely rearranged everything, completely changed everything. Well, I say completely, it's not a huge difference, but essentially I'm not doing boxes anymore. I'm not doing physical products anymore, because it was the source of a lot of my burnout energy. Having to come up with a theme every month was honestly just a little bit exhausting and sometimes very rushed. And I really think it's important, like I said before, to follow my creative urges and to draw things that are coming to me more naturally, and not be putting myself in that burnout state like, well, I have to get this done. And so now I just have the £2.50 tier. It's such a small amount, and all it is, well, I say all it is, but you guys will get access to all the old posts. I've got old brush packs on there. You'll get, there's tutorials on there. Honestly, there's like a bunch of stuff that I've done before on there that you already get access to. And then what I'm now doing is, recently I put up the glitter brush. Oh, it's so pretty. It is going to be in one of my brush packs, but it's so nice to use. But that is also on there. So that's something that I will also release, is when I make a new brush, it will just be on there for you to use on Procreate. You'll also, I mean, Patreon members who are on there now, you know that that is where I've been updating you. So obviously I've been extremely quiet on social media for the entire time that I've been away. but Patreon members have been getting little snippets here and there, and they are going to get, well, they currently are, and they're going to continue to get a lot more updates from me and a lot more behind the scenes, see what I'm working on, a lot more input as well. I really did enjoy doing polls before, so I did a poll about my upcoming calendar, which is another thing I have to tell you about. Oh. There's just so much. So honestly, if you are thinking of buying a calendar, please wait, okay? I will have calendars in my shop very soon, and sometimes I just say things and then they don't always work out, but I'm promising you right now, very, very soon, it's going to happen. I'm going to have that 2026 calendar in there. As soon as I've got everything sorted this week with my new listings, that is my focus purely. And then my goal is to have that ordered by mid next week maybe, and then have it by the week after. So very, very soon, they're going to be in my shop and available for you to order. And as you can see on my wall, I have put up and displayed all my calendars that I've worked on. And it's so nostalgic and heartwarming to actually see the difference in them, and to also see that I've actually continued to do this every year. I even did it, you know, last year. Like, it's just, oh, I love doing them so much, and I'm never ever gonna stop, I don't think. Obviously I can't tell the future, but at this moment in time, no. It is an every year kind of thing, and I use the best company for it as well. And I can hopefully talk a little bit more about that when I get the calendars and make like a little video on how I get them made, what process it is and stuff, for any creators out there who want to make their own calendars just to have at home, because you can do that, or if you want to make calendars to sell, like if you're an artist like me, or, you know, even if you're not an artist, you want to do like, I don't know, quotes or book pages or something amazing like that, then yeah, I can show you the process of it, and I can also tell you a little bit about the hiccups I had in the beginning of making my calendars, because there was some. But I've now moved through it, and yeah, I have a process now, and it's so simple. I have templates I use, easy, and that will come soon. Let me know if that's something you want to see, because if it's not, then, you know, I won't have to do it. But I think it'd be really informative and really fun for you to have a look at. Oh, okay, so I think I've told you everything now. I don't think I'm missing anything. Let me have a look. Okay, so there's a few things that I could touch up on. So something that I did want to say about is that I don't know if you'll know, if you have ordered stickers from me before, you may have seen the option where I have with and without backing cards. And backing cards I used to do all the time, right in the beginning, where I would have my Greenwich sticker pack. I don't know if anyone remembers that. Got my tongue twisted there a little bit. But that was every sort of deck from that era, we'll say, had a backing card which kind of like titled what it was, had my little name on it, and I was doing that for singular stickers as well. And honestly, it was a part of the job that was not very time consuming, but stickers don't have to be that hard, like singular stickers, if people order singular stickers. And so I fully removed them. I decided it was one part of my stress when it comes to creating products, and I thought, honestly, like 99.9% of the time, while I've had those two options, people just choose without without the backing card. The backing card is merely like, I think it makes it nice if you were gonna say gift it to someone. They would be good for like conventions, I think, like on a stand. I think that would be cute, but it's a lot of work, lots of hassle. Just anything that's not really serving you. I'm speaking to anyone, well actually this can apply to anything, it doesn't have to apply to our business or a business at all. Anything that's not serving you or is not making you feel happy, then it's probably not meant to be there in the first place. So that's my opinion anyway. So I feel like I say that's my opinion a lot, but at the end of the day, what I really don't want is for you guys to be offended by anything I say, because I really just mean a lot of the things that I say with a lot of love. Okay, this video is going to be a little bit too long if I keep chit-chatting. So essentially I'm going to take some product photos today. I'm going to take product photos of my new deck, and then I'm going to finalize those listings. So basically doing the listing pictures, which is going to be digital. I feel like I have so much more to tell you, but that's probably going to have to wait for the next video. This is basically, I feel like, just a what have I been doing update. But yeah, I really want to talk. I'm just so excited to be back, and I'm so excited to have you back and to be making these videos for you again, and for you to see what's happening and what's going on. So to wrap it up, I'm gonna say thank you so much for watching. It feels really good to be back and really good to say those words again. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.